So hi. You're gonna love this is so funny. Um, so we finished up the recording and we did the pattern recognition. How did you do with that? How did things go? I went through the feelings and hunches part. This is my second attempt at recording it. And the really funny part is I got to the end of feelings and hunches and started to go on. I was like, no, 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 I feel like I should go on. I'm going to go ahead and go on. And then as soon as I began going on to memories, and this is part of it, is that feelings and hunches. I got this internal, no, don't go on. Stop. So I stopped and went to finish up the recording and my computer had crashed. So everything that I had recorded was gone. I had to restart my computer. So, I mean, again, if you get a hunch and go, well, maybe I should follow that hunch. And so, this is an example of one of those times when I just had a hunch that I needed to stop the recording. So, I paid attention to the hunch without knowing why, just okay, I get a hunch I need to stop. And lo and behold, I needed to stop because there's no point in recording something on a computer that had crashed. So, such is the nature of hunches. So let's talk about that and then we will stop and then we'll move on to memories. Okay. So remember that I told you that energy follows thought. It does. And but that said, human beings have between 50,000 and 70,000 thoughts a day. So you're not going to catch them all. But your brain is up there doing its thing, right? And your brain is going on and you're not really paying attention. I keep seeing this picture of me in my laundry room and doing laundry. And all of a sudden I went, I feel fear. Why do I feel fear? So that picture keeps popping in my brain. And what I did was, what I'm telling you to do is don't ignore that. Stop the tape going in your brain and ask yourself, why do I have a knot in my stomach? I do this often. My body doesn't feel right. Chances are I've been alone in my head without adult supervision. And I have to stop myself and ask that question. I may have had an actual thought that preceded the stomach ache or the fear. I may have been thinking of a particular person and have to wonder if there's something going on with them that I haven't paid attention to. Whatever it is, take the time to at least notice it. If there's a person in your thoughts and it's reasonable to do so, check in with them. My daughter in law told me once that I invariably will call or text right when she or my son have something going on in their lives that is rather hairy. She said, I don't know how you do it, but you do it all the time. I don't know how I do it either. But if I get the urge to text them, I usually do. And it's usually right. Is it a mother's instinct? Yeah. Do I know what's going on? Not in the least. Will they tell me? Only if it's my business. Such is the life of a mother of adult children. So yeah, it and one of those things I want you to understand is I want you checking in with your body because I think the example of me being in the laundry room and having this thought, and then all of a sudden my stomach hurt, and I'm like, what was I thinking of? So, on the one hand, it could be a hunch. It could be just, kind of thinking. On the other hand, you may not be paying attention to what's going on in your head. And you may have caught on to a negative thought that has led you around down the rabbit hole. And you're heading into a place of fear that you have no business being because your fears are false expectations appearing real. So, it's good to check in when you get a feeling in your body to ask yourself, what was I just thinking? And if just randomly, like for the last few days, several times a day, I've been like, I'll think of somebody. I'll think of like, there's somebody else. I just realized I've been thinking about her. I need to check in with her. I need to check and see if she's okay. And so if somebody comes to your mind, just do that. Just check in. It's a good way to test your intuition and to practice your intuition. And it also keeps you connected to the people that you love. But if you get a hunch and it's reasonable to do so, check it out, follow it, make note of it. So that's what feelings and hunches. Just a random thought pops in your brain. Huh. And just be willing to experiment with it. Write it down, put it in your journal, and see what happens. See if your intuition was right. Couldn't hide. Okay, take a couple moments and write down in your journal um, when you've had a hunch that turned out to be correct, when you've had a hunch that you ignored that turned out to be correct, and when you found yourself sitting in fear because you weren't paying attention to what your thoughts were doing. Give yourself a couple of minutes to kind of examine those things. And then when you're done, come on back and we'll move on to the next part.